Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. And today we'll be looking at the Ghetto Lords gangs for Streets of War NYC, put out by Funky Skulls Game. So I paid $22 for this game. That's 8 models. Comes out to $2.75 per model. That's before the shipping and handling from the United Kingdom. Now I did get a slight discount because I went all in on their 2020 Kickstarter. But the thing I like about these guys is just the high quality of the sculpts. So you can see most of the issues comes from shipping, but this bath is supposed to point out. What I love about them is the almost non-existent mold lines on these guys. You might find some slight pieces of flashing right there, problematic areas of the mold, but otherwise these come out very clean. He's got a little boom box there. Alright, so all these guys look good. They seem to survive transit very well, and they all have their decals. So there's more than enough for everyone here, so in case I want to add more from third-party vendors, I can. And 8 is the standard gang size for Street Wars NYC. So we have Carlos, our warlord, gang boss, Benny and Martinez. That'll be our 2 lieutenants. And of course we get a new blood and 4 soldiers. Each one matches a model there, and will probably guide how I paint these guys. Alright, let's get them together and get them on the table. So I finished cleaning and putting my Ghetto Lords on their base. So you can see I had to use some green stuff on a few of them here to make sure I had a tight fit before I put the basing material on. Probably the biggest challenge here was some of the hats where some of the mold lines ran through, and probably the undercuts. Let's see if I can get it under the arms. So besides the hats, probably areas you really wouldn't see the mold lines. What I'm really happy with is the hair. The mold lines through the hair was non-existent, because that would be like the biggest problem there, is trying to clean off a mold line then retexture the hair, which would not be fun. So I just don't want these models for games of Street Wars NYC. I might want to use them in other games and mix them with other ranges. I'm looking for common utility. So let's see how these guys scale up to some of my other 28mm lines. Now something I might use them instead of police, would be mob enforcers. So I have Vincent and Jules. These are from Studio Miniatures here. And let's say I might also want to hire some mercenaries to clean up my neighborhood streets. So let's get a couple models there from Studio Miniatures A-Team. And what we can see is that the Studio Miniatures 28mm range and the Funky Skulls Games models fit perfectly with each other. But I also might want to introduce some Yakuza. Say we go down into Japantown or Chinatown, if I want to say their tongs. I have some 28mm metals from North Star, and we can see that these guys fit in very well also. Same height, same arming potential there, so I'm happy with that. And another range I also like to use is Spectre Miniatures 28mm. So the height is the same, but you'll see the Spectre Miniature model is a little bit, I don't know, his torso is a little bit frailer compared to these guys, but you know, that's just a physique issue and easily explainable away. In game terms, he's just a business guy, and when you're standing at your table, you know, 3 or 4 feet away from looking at the models, you probably wouldn't even notice. But something else I want to do is compare it to some of my existing terrain range. So from the Marvel Crisis Protocol, I like their terrain. Even though it's scaled for 40 millimeters, it fits in very well with the 28 millimeter range because of the 3-inch rise on the buildings. And that 3-inch rise fits in very well with the Street Wars NYC rules for climbing buildings here. So that works well. And something else I got off Thingiverse from 3DP Design Labs. It's a remix from Terrain for Prince brownstones. So these are modeled off what you find in New York City. So you can see those guys fit in very well with those Thingiverse files. So at the end of the day, very happy with my purchase of these models, especially like the guy with the boombox there. That's just very flavorful to the time period. And at $275 a model, a very good addition to my existing metal miniature ranges. So thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.